The poet from the morning
right,
wood,
going
and
live
I'm
in
here
Las
to talk to you
Vegas.
about the sci-fi.
Greg DeVille.
It's your Vegas home for science fiction, horror, and fantasy. From comic books, toys, and posters to movie
We want to talk about real estate on today, as usual, right? It's what we do. It's what we do. That's right.
Give them a call, 702-900-4335. Or reach them
So I'll be looking between this one and this one. If you got any questions, feedback, be sure to share it with me.
I can sell your home and save your equity with a free foreclosure sale. Also, it's a great time to buy a home while interest rates are really low. Veterans, you are now
787-7559. 7559. 702-787-7559.
Again, 702-787-7559. Greg DeVille, the real estate broker.
Your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. High 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing hip hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the...
All right, Uncle Charlie.
I'll wait till you take a sip of water. I'll open mic for you. All right. Open mic.
All right, good afternoon, Las Vegas. Greg DeVille back in the studio once again, live on the radio. Want to continue to give great information. As many of you have been watching on our news outlets, we've been talking about the rental increase here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and how things are really, wow, there is no rent cap. And so when we talk about landlords and increasing the rent, it's getting outrageous. It's getting ridiculous. When I say landlords can do what they want, when your lease expires, you're on a month to month. When your lease expires, many things change once your lease expires. So we want to make sure that we're taking you into, hey, Pam, good to see you. Good to have you in with us. When the rent goes higher, many cases, the problem we're seeing with landlords is they're taking advantage of the market. They're taking advantage of what's really going on because they've been average $1,500 to $1,800 for a 3-bedroom home, and now they're up to $2,200. We talk about these type of rents on the increase. What happens, you can pay a mortgage for what the rent prices are. So I want to help you get into a home using your 401k program. Now, many of you have that reserve fund. You're able to use those funds to get into a property because right now you'll be on a fixed rate. Now, we don't do adjustable rates, first-time buyers, conventional programs. We're locking in the rates are fixed rates. Keep in mind, the rates are fixed rates. Now, if you go into a savvy type of loan, that program will cause you to have an adjustable rate. But again, that's for the savvy investor. That's for the individual who wants to take the opportunity to maybe do a flip, such as what I'm doing. I'm into flip properties. We use interest-only loans for things like that, right? You don't want to live your primary resident on something other than a fixed rate. Okay. Keep in mind, conventional loans, FHA, VA loans should be on a fixed rate, 15 or 30 year. One of the recommendations are do a 30-year fix, pay it off in 15. How do you do that? Well, one of the ways you want to consider is paying a little bit more each month, whether it's $100 or $200 a month. But keep in mind, letting the lender know you're paying money up, and you're like, but I sent $200 additional. It's going to be a problem for you if you don't take the opportunity to let the lender know you're paying an advance toward your principal. Now, the great information about that is you could pay a loan off in 15 years, depending on how much you're sending each month. Okay, so fixed rate. Now, just so you understand, the interest rates have increased. I talk a lot about down payment programs. Our down payment programs are up right now about 5.5%, 5.75%. But now you're fussing, and I want you to hold on for a moment because you haven't let me explain. So they're up right now, but guess what? When you pay rent, you're at 100% interest rate. So if I'm getting you a property that's coming in at 5.85, and you're renting at 100% with no ROI, what is that? No return on your investment. So I'm giving you the opportunity so that you can have property with no money down. If that's an issue for you, I know money down in many cases. Right now, you need about $20,000. We have 20 to give you. Dwayne Jackson, thank you for tuning in. Tony, all right, good to have you with us today. Alja, man, I haven't seen you in a while. How's it going? Listen, thank you all for tuning in. Share it with a friend. This information is very important. Interest rates are looking pretty good with your own money down. Now, again, if you have to use my down payment programs, I may get you in just below a 6%. But that's okay. As I've aforementioned, 100% on rental. So if I'm getting you $20,000 and what's keeping you from getting a home is the money down. If that's what's keeping you from getting a home, you don't have a problem because I've got a solution. I've got the money down for you. Get a pen, tell a friend, Greg DeVille, he's at it again. He's got more information and more money to give away. You've got to qualify. 702-787-7559. Greg DeVille, Team DeVille. This is what we do. We're excited at Hot 702.5 Radio. This is what we do. We're excited about it, and I want to give more money away. If I don't use it, I lose it. Now, I want you to gather this information that you hear from me. Share this video. Share it with your friends and your family, your frenemies. Guess what? The opportunity is available for everyone that qualifies. I merely need you to have, guess what? Here we go. A 600 credit score. Wow. A mere 600 credit score can get you $20,000. So if that's you, if that's a friend, tell someone. Let's take the opportunity to help our friends and family. Maybe you have a home. You're doing well. Let me tell you something. Interest rates, not bad at all. Of course, they were lower, but we don't want to talk about that. We want to stay in the now. Is that okay? Let's stay in the now. Let's talk about right now. Where are we right now? Right now, we're in the mid fours. Okay. Guess what? You missed the boat on the 2.5, on the 2.8. 2.99. Well, it is what it is. But because you have interest because you have tax refunds coming, I want to speak to that right now because you just had Christmas. What else could you possibly need? You just had Christmas. So why don't you treat yourself to real estate? The great advantage to real estate is equity. Equity is funding. Equity is money. Equity is yours. But guess what? While you continue to pay rent, someone else is getting the equity you're paying into. Why not you? Why is that person not you? It's because you haven't taken this number and made a contact to DeVille Realty Group. 702-787-7559. Greg DeVille, DeVille Realty Group. David Lee, good to have you with us on today. So keep in mind, interest rates are trickling up just a bit, but that's okay. The interest rates are where they are. You're renting at 100% with someone else getting the return on the investment, who being the landlord. So if I could sell your home with no money down, would you buy it? That's the question today. Would you buy it? Absolutely you would, right? So here's what I want you to do. 702-787-7559. Contact the office. Said I saw or heard Greg DeVille. Saw him on Facebook. Heard him on the radio. Wherever you heard me at, just contact the office. Would you do that? Let's make a difference in 2022. Year 2022 is going to be year of manifestation. I'm putting it in the atmosphere. A home is going to manifest for you in the year 2022. It's for you. But if you don't start now, you could possibly miss the boat. So many families have missed the boat because they have procrastinated on making contact with DeVille. Now, listen, I've been in real estate over 35 years. I buy and flip homes. I sell homes. I list homes. Whatever you're talking real estate, this is what I do. This is my passion. This is what I enjoy. And I want to help you let it become something that benefits your family. We're talking equity. My slogan at DeVille Realty is creating wealth through equity. This is what we do. This is what we've been designed. I've been put in this position to do just this, is to help more families empowered in real estate. As the rent goes up, your opportunity is still knocking at your door. But what are you going to do? What you've been doing? Putting it off? Now, I have a lot of families contacting me about rentals. My landlord's selling the property. Well, guess what? You've paid his equity up, so now he's cashing out. Guess what? He's cashing out because you paid it up. That's real talk. And the reality is, are you going to make a change in 2022? Are you just going to find another rental and pay high rent? Or do you take the opportunity to contact DeVille and let's get a game plan? Maybe you're not ready right now. Maybe your credit isn't worthy quite yet. But we're going to put you in a position of a game plan. Can we do that? A game plan, how to get you in position for home ownership. Because that's my job. My job is to create wealth for the community, one family at a time. Last year, we did over 300 families. Is that good news? Absolutely. Can we do better? Absolutely. But it's going to take you contacting DeVille. That's right. DeVille Realty Group, 702-787-7559. I'm excited. I'm live on the radio, live on Facebook. Tell a friend about it. Greg DeVille. We're all over town. The lovely, the beautiful Marquetta DeVille. This is what we do. We have fun helping families create generational wealth. Melissa Thompson, thank you for tuning in today. Guess what? Our friend Melissa, we just found a brand new home. My God, beautiful. Not even finished building it. It's going to be done in May. You're talking brand new. Nobody's lived in. It's like a new car. But guess what? The difference with the home is that it creates wealth. The difference with a car is it depreciates wealth. Because guess what? It's not worth what it was. Real estate, it becomes more valuable. Isn't that good? Isn't that great news? That's what I'm talking about. 702-787-7559. Greg DeVille, Team DeVille, DeVille Realty Group. This is what we do in the neighborhood. That's right. And listen, I want to thank so many of you for sharing the information. Greg DeVille's contact. Do me a favor. I give my contact live on radio on 3 different radio stations here in Las Vegas, 2 television shows. Guess what? I give mine regularly. And I'm asking you to share it with your friends and family. Would you do that? Would you let your friends and family know what is available? That's right. We have a great opportunity. Appreciate so many of you who share with your family and friends this information about homeownership. Maybe it's not right now. Maybe, well, let me be transparent. Hey, Frankie Lewis, good to have you. Mr. Morris. Yeah. All right. There you are. Listen. Many of you have taken the opportunity to share with your family and friends. Let me thank you. But I also want to thank the many of you in advance because you've been putting it off. You haven't done it, but let me thank you for go ahead and doing it this week. Contacting your friends and family. Let them know DeVille Realty, this is what we do. We're excited about it. We want to help you. We want to get you in a position. My wife and I we just recently found out our equity has grown over $200,000 in the last 5 years. Now, guess what? That's good stuff. What can you do with how else can you save $200,000 in a 5-year period? It's real estate. So I'm putting you up on game how to get yours. Take the opportunity. Don't miss the boat again. You missed it when the rates were low. You meant to, but you didn't. You mean to, but you will, right? Yes, you will. I'm dependent on you. I'm putting it in the atmosphere. Yes, you will. Look out for your future. Because many landlords are selling, you've paid into their future. You've paid into what they're selling for. And the bad part about that is you got to get a notice to move out. Wow. So what are you going to do? So before you get a notice, if you're in a lease right now, I have some clients that are in a lease, right? So let me tell you the good news is their lease doesn't expire until September, but they just went in escrow in February. They said, but we're in a lease. I said, here's what you do. Once we get this offer accepted, take this to your landlord, to the property management. Tell the property management, I have a window of opportunity for purchasing property. We want to take the window of opportunity to purchase a property, but we're going to be breaking our lease for the purchase of property. The landlord said, pay 1 month's rent, leave the security deposit. We'll let you out of your lease early. So are you discouraged? Don't let a lease make you miss your blessing. God has a blessing with your name on it. If this is the time, guess what? It's your time. Step into it. Now, let me say, this first home may not be your dream home. You get somewhere and sit down. Get you some equity going. For real. Sit down. Because you're paying a landlord. You worried about how beautiful the house is or how big it is. Listen, you live in an apartment. I got people living in apartments with their only backyard is a balcony on the 3rd floor. That's your backyard. And now you want a house with a yard too small. Let me say this, bruh, sis. Get somewhere, get equity growing. Keep it for 3 years. Keep it. That's 3 Christmas trees, 3 Easter baskets, 3 Thanksgiving dinners, whatever. Keep it for 3 years and revisit what equity you have, because you've been living in that apartment for 4 and you have nothing but the security deposit you paid when you initially took the apartment. So if I can teach you how to build residual equity in real estate, this is what I'm doing. So get somewhere. Listen, right now, under $450,000, you cannot buy a home larger than 2,200 square feet. Under $450, you're not going to find it. You're not going to find it because home values have increased so that prices have a home right now. The average home under 400 is 12 to maybe 1,500 square feet. That's the average home right now. So that's just about $235 a square foot. Especially if they've been remodeled, they've been, renovated properties. I saw one went up, man, I thought it was ridiculous. $315 a square foot. I said, you're going to be able to get that? And guess what? They were able to get it because buyers are hungry. Because when the light of revelation comes on and you understand that getting a property is going to benefit you, you have made that apartment work. You have bumped your toe on the furniture. So you moved it around so you can get around and make more space. So I'm telling you, move this furniture in this house, make some space. Maybe you won't be able to get that king size bed in this house right now. Okay, you have to down to a full size or push it against the wall. Listen, but up my point. Let me just get to my point here. I'm ranting because I'm trying to make sense of what you're fighting me over. Because I have so many families that fight me, say, well, DeVille, I can't find nothing to fit my furniture. Let me say this. Your furniture doesn't get you equity, bruh. What's going to get you equity? Real estate. So you got to downsize your furniture. You're upsizing from an apartment. Typically apartments range from 900 to 1,200 square feet, right? I'm going to get you a house from 12 to 15, 1,600 square feet. Are you going to make it work? Yes. Why? Because you're getting equity in the property, right? So I'm trying to make sense of why you need to get something now. Maybe your budget won't allow based on your debt to income, your DTI, right? Your debt to income ratio won't allow you to qualify at 450. And if you do, you know how many people are at 450 right now that are fighting for a property? I have a client in Henderson. We must have written 5, 6, 7 offers on. A couple we haven't heard back. You know what that means? Somebody outbid us. It wasn't even worth them calling me back. They're like, buddy, I have a client who's willing to put $5,000 above appraisal. Guess what that means? That don't mean anything. Because you're putting $5,000 above appraisal is not helping. I have clients who go $10,000. They've stretched themselves. Still didn't get bid. I have a client who went $20,000. He got the house, but how many of us have $20,000 to bid above appraisal, right? So sometimes 5 is pushing the envelope for you, maybe 10. This guy went 20 because he really wanted this particular property, and we were able to make it work. But now, here's the deal. Maybe you only have 5 or 10 above appraisal. So somebody else has more money than you. I know you want turnkey, but you have to get something that needs a little paint and carpet. Guess what's going to happen? You may have a better chance on your bidding versus the one who's got the $20,000 for the turnkey. We have a supply and demand issue. Okay, that's where we are. It's a supply and demand issue. We have much demand with little supply. My North Las Vegas area, Ms. Goins is out there. Let me say, North Las Vegas has the larger homes for a better price. You stand a better chance. If you go out to Henderson, Green Valley, those homes built in the 80s and 90s are going $450 to $550 for an average 16 to 2,200 square foot home. And that's turnkey. So unless you're at a 550 right now, guess what? But there's somebody else too. So the fight is real. The supply and demand is real. I just listed a property on the market for $599, and guess what? I've gotten eight showings in 2 days. I got 3 offers. So Saturday we'll pick an offer, right? We're going to just make something happen of it. $599. I'm talking about 8 people have shown it in 2 days. 3 offers have come in because it's a hot market right now. So somebody said, I'm going to wait till the market calms down. Guess what? It's not, because we don't have overinflated interest rates. We don't have stated income. We don't have interest only loans. So there's nothing to overinflate. We're not making a bubble as we did in 2005, 6, and 7. Remember back in 04, you could do a loan with stated income. Well, we've done away with that. You could tell an appraiser what the value needed to be, and he came in higher than that. You can't do that. You don't have access to appraisers. So a lot of the situations that created for a crash, we've done away with. You know, adjustable rate mortgage, they will call them an ARM. Well, the arms are done. Arms are shot. Arms are done. Unless you're a savvy investor. Now, if you're an investor, you have, you know, you could do interest only. I mean, as a flip contractor myself, professional, you know, we do interest only loans, right? Because we just pay the interest while we borrow the money to fix the house, sell the house, pay the loan back, and there you are. But that's for a savvy investor. Now, those of us who want to owner occupy, you need to be in a fixed rate, which is what FHA, many of our conventionals, and VAR. Okay, now conventional is kind of universal because I have some conventionals, you know, that, yeah. So listen, I'm not a lender. I'm a real estate broker. My job is to get you to a lender, but I need to find out what works best for you. Now, if you're a veteran, then what happens with veterans is veterans need to go through my VA lender. They're linked with the VA administration. Okay. Now, what happens on that is that you can reinstate your DD 214, get back on track with owning your own home, right? Now, maybe you've owned a home in the past, but you've lost that home. Well, let me say this. You can use your VA again. Now, if you live in a home that is a VA right now, you can refinance out of that VA mortgage into a conventional. Refinance it into a conventional loan, freeing up your VA loan. Now you can use your VA loan to purchase a home with no money down. If you didn't get it, I'm going to do it again. You live in a VA home. Your home currently is under a VA mortgage. Refinance your home. I have about 8 or 9 lenders who can refinance your mortgage. Refinance your mortgage into a conventional. You're freeing up your VA, which allows you to use it again. Now, have I seen it? Absolutely. You can refinance your home. It's not against the law. I've just refinanced mine from an FHA into a conventional, which takes the PMI off, right? So there's benefits to refinance. Not to mention, you can get up to 80% of cash out, as long as you have not had a late in 12 months. So in that 1 year, as long as you didn't have a late in that 1 year, you can refinance it with a cash out. Okay. Keep in mind, it's very, very important that you don't miss those mortgage payments. I don't care if you pay it on the 29th or the 30th. Just make sure the next month doesn't hit you. You may have a $40, $50 late fee, but just don't let the next month. Now, I have savvy lenders who can get this done for you. There's several down payment programs available if the money is an issue. You know, I know it's hard in this economy to really save money to do so many things, right? It can be challenging to save money and have a family, you know, unless your ratios are really low, and you can do well at saving. But the average American doesn't do well with savings. The average. Now, there are some of us who do well. You know, all you got to do is stop wanting stuff for the most part. Most people just want everything they see. You want to look fly, but you know, you live in an apartment. You gotta change that around. Look fly with an investment property, which is your home, because I always ask this question. Do you own the space where your bed lies? Do you own the space where your bed is? Because if not, it's creating equity. It's doing it for someone else. So at the end of the day, I know I met a lady once. She lived in this nice, she was telling me about it. We were at an event and she was saying how she was so just, excited about this new place she was renting for about, I think she was on 8 or 9 months. And she said the building is gorgeous and she loved it. And I think she was paying like $2,400 a month for a 2-bedroom. And I thought the equity you could be building if you were paying that in a mortgage. Because guess what? I asked her, well, what's your down payment or what's your deposit when you rent a place that has a $2,400 a month mortgage or rent? Because it is a mortgage, but you call it a rent. It's a mortgage payment. It's just their mortgage. She told me $4,500 was her, deposit for renting the place. So basically 2 months and a little more security, what have you. But guess what? When she moves out, she did a 2-year lease, I think she said. When she moves out, that's all she gets. But guess what the landlord got? The landlord got some $120,000 possibly from you paying that mortgage off. So as the value increases, somebody's getting the benefit. You walk away with your 45 that's left. Well, no, it's actually 25 because, yeah. So whatever that difference is, that's all you got for 2 years. Versus the landlord gets a great substantial amount, which I'm telling you right now, you need to take advantage of being a landlord. Really, you should. If you own a home today and you have equity in your home, let's talk for a moment about residual income. How do I help you get residual income from the equity in your home? Possibly pull that equity out, $80,000, $120,000, put it onto another piece of property. Rent that property out, whether it's a single family home or a duplex or perhaps a 4-plex or a 10-unit, depending on how much equity you have. The investment property will pay for itself. Now, if it's a single home, for most cases, it's simply going to pay its own rent or mortgage rather. So the tenant will pay the mortgage on another home. Or let's say perhaps you're interested in getting another home like I want to do. My wife has got another idea now. She's flopping on me, but I'm okay. It will be all right. But listen, I want to rent my 6-bedroom out and I will give me another home. But she says, well, let's stay here and let's get the 4-plex. So we're in this little dilemma right now. What do we do with all this equity and how do we invest it to do better? So I said, if I take the 6-bedroom and rent the rooms, because right now people can't afford rent. I can rent a room for $800. You can't rent anything for $800. There's a program right now, $800 a room. Well, look at these suites. All inclusive, cable, power, water, everything's all inclusive. You just need a room, because at this rate, you can't find a place to rent, because rents are so expensive. Listen. So that's but this is something that's available with your equity. Now, let's say you get a 4-unit apartment building. They got 2 rooms. Well, they got some programs. You can rent 2 per room in these programs for housing. So there's some housing programs that are out there to help assist struggling families from homelessness. So that's kind of the way. But that's the option. You got to pick which route you want to take. When you have equity. So do I purchase another? So I want to buy another home, single story, I want to do bigger yard, bigger lot, RV park, right? So, but my wife says, well, let's get a 4-plex and let's do. So, but these are options. Now you're fighting over which option you want to take. Cause guess what? When you own a home, baby, you got options. So can I put you in the driver's seat and give you some options? Because the landlord has options today. Guess what the landlord has decided? He's decided to send you a notice, didn't even call you, sent you a mail, and you've been there 3, 5, 6 years. He didn't have the nerve to call you, sent you a letter saying, I'm selling the property, a realtor's going to be in touch. Or sent the property management company to tell you the owner is selling the home, you've been given a 30-day notice. Really? Just like that. So let's get a head start, because as long as you're in a lease, the landlord cannot go up on your rent because it's locked in, right? The lease locks you in at a rate. So if your lease is going to be expiring in the next 3 to 4 months, contact my office again, 702-787-7559. Contact the office. Take the opportunity to get a head start now, So when your lease is up, you could possibly be into a property. So you won't have to deal with landlords increasing ridiculous amounts. What is that? One guy went $400. Well, you know what that was about. The owner wanted the property back for his mom. So I don't know if you knew what that was about. He wanted the property back. So he went ridiculously high, knowing the guy couldn't afford it. There's no rent cap, so he could do what he wants. But it was stated he wanted the property back for his mom. So, but landlords can do this. What does that do to you? It pushes you out of that property. So now you got to find somewhere to live. Let me stop you from moving around from house to house. Because as soon as this landlord gets a hiccup or a headache, he says, I'm tired of dealing with rental. Guess what he's going to do? He's going to sell it. And you're going to be left out unless someone purchases it as an investment, which more than likely is not happening because the price the landlord wants to get, most cash investors want to get a home for less. So they're not willing to pay the list price. And so with this being a seller's market, he doesn't have to go for the lower number. He can take the better number, which oftentimes is homeowner occupant. So you're fighting against a landlord who wants to sell, trying to get an investor to buy it at the rate he wants. He wants fair market value. So he's not willing to eat any money on your behalf. Now, it's sad, but it's true. So we want to keep in mind, take the opportunity. Let's get into finding where you are, getting your credit scores where they need to be. Let's help you get in position. So by the time your lease is done, what are you going to do? You're going to be in position for home ownership. Now, many of you have a 401k on your job. Take the opportunity to use the 401k as your down payment towards your closing costs. So that way you can get in with a lower interest rate. Because if you use the grant programs right now, they're nearly 6%, meaning your mortgage payment is going higher. But the benefit to that is at least you got into a property. Maybe you're paying a little bit more than what you're accustomed to, but at least you're investing in yourself. That's the great benefit of owning your own property is you're investing into your own. Now, it may cost you more than what, but guess what? If the landlord goes up, you're paying into his, right? Is that right, Darlene? Good to have you with us. Good afternoon. Joy, good to see you. All right. So keep in mind, there are a lot of opportunities available for the first-time buyer, the veterans. Now, if you've been thinking about selling your home, this is your market. Mr. Seller, Mrs. Seller, this is your market. This is your time to get that price you want to get. We're having families in many cases paying above appraisal, depending on what area of town you're in. Henderson is hot. People are paying 10, 15. If you got a pool in Henderson, you've been thinking about selling because you're not using the pool, contact my team, 702-787-7559. If you got a pool anywhere in Vegas, if you have a swimming pool, you're thinking about selling your home, guess what? Vegas is coming up on that time of the year where people want pools and they're giving above appraisal value for them. So think about it. If you got a 2-story and you maybe your knees aren't working like they were. I got people calling me saying, Mr. DeVille, I need to sell this 2-story. It's just, yeah, my knees aren't allowing me to go up and down as, it's been tough. So maybe that's the case. Whatever the case may be, let me say this. Let's get the best price possible for that property, and let's put you in a property that fits your current lifestyle. If it's single story, guess what? So be it. We can do it. But first, we've got to list your property, get it in escrow before we can go home shopping. But even before that, you got to contact my office. Is that all right? 702-787-7559. Greg DeVille, Team DeVille. DeVille Realty Group, this is what we do all around the valley, helping families create equity. And that equity creates wealth. So, veterans, if you're listening to me, you want to sell your home and you want to use your VA benefits, you're well capable of doing that. Many times we have families who are actually able to purchase another home, even though they live in a VA mortgage now. So we have lenders who can do that. If you have a VA mortgage, but you don't want to sell your home, you have a couple of different options. Again, refinance it out of the VA into a conventional. Now that frees up your VA. just recently sold a property. They did a refinance into a conventional, freed up the VA, bought a $500,000, well, actually $750,000 home, because the home they were in is $500,000, bought a $750,000 under the VA. No money down. So take advantage of the advantages that are here for you, and let DeVille Realty help you get it done. Lionel, good to have you with us today. Leonard, all right, glad you're here. So selling, buying, or investing, DeVille Realty can help. This is what we do at DeVille Realty Group. I've been in real estate over 35 years. I love it. I'm having fun. My lovely wife, the gorgeous, the beautiful Marquetta DeVille, is on standby to take your call. We are doing what we do, and we're having fun doing it, helping families create wealth. I'm Greg DeVille, the broker owner at DeVille Realty Group, along with my lovely wife. We create ways how to get you in. So again, if you have a 401k on the job, we can help. Now, there are some families who are having difficulty because of the demise of a loved one, that they can't sell the property. That's right. It has to go through probate. But we've done about 5 in the last 6 months. So we have lawyers on standby who can help you, walk you through the probate process. It may take 6, 8 months, some a year. But guess what? We can get it done for you. 702-787-7559. Greg DeVille, Team DeVille, DeVille Realty Group. We're going to help you get it done right here at DeVille Realty Group. VA is an advantage. If you're a veteran, let us first appreciate you for your service. As veterans, as you know, your DD-214, it serves as your down payment, being eligible to get a home with no money down. So while we're helping you do it, the only way we could really help you is you got to make contact with my team. It's 42 of us on the team, 3 locations in the Valley. We're having fun helping families do what we do. That's it, man. We're doing what we do. So whether you're in Henderson or Green Valley, we got a DeVille Realty at Green Valley and Sunset Road. Whether you're in the North Las Vegas Centennial area, we've got an office right there on Ann Road. If you're in the Summerlin area, we've got a virtual office right there at Boca Park, Summerlin. This is what we do at DeVille Realty. I'm having so much fun. It's exciting, but I want you to get excited. I don't want to be more excited than you are helping you get into real estate, because you start creating equity. Equity is wealth. Say it with me. Equity is wealth. So if you want to get wealth, you got to get equity, because when you rent, you're getting equity, but you're giving it to someone else. So I want to stop that. I want to cut that bleeding. You're just bleeding money. So with that money like that, we can't see you continuing. As I mentioned to you before, the year 2022 is a year of manifestation. I want to see you manifest property. I want to see you manifest residual income. But you got to contact my team. 702-787-7559. Greg DeVille, Team DeVille. This is what we do. Live on radio, Hot 702.5 FM. I'm here to help you get it done. But you got to make the call. Now, that probate sale, if a person dies without a will, it's called intestate. No trust, it's not going to work. In fact, the will doesn't even work in Las Vegas. The will still allows you to have to go through probate. You know what you need? You need a trust. You have to have a trust. We have lawyers who can help you get the trust. The trust leaves how you want to entrust things to go. So without that trust, very, very important, 702-787-7559. If someone passed away and they did a reverse mortgage, you still have to sell the property through a reverse mortgage. The reverse phone's been ringing like crazy, but we're giving great information. You got to get in on yours. If you're in the Las Vegas, matter of fact, if you live anywhere we have a nationwide network of Black real estate professionals. I serve as the president of the Black Real Estate Professionals Network, where we network professionals. Doesn't matter if you're in North Carolina, New York, New Jersey. We've got professionals that can help you get it done. This is what we do. So probate sales, we got attorneys, help you get it done. Let's get you in the right position. I'm looking at 2 screens. As you can know, I'm on the Facebook here and I'm doing a live video over there. But I want to help you. And that's the reason I come live on Facebook, live on radio talk shows, to give great information. And I hope it's working for you. So again, hey, Nisi, how you doing? Good to have you with us all the way from LA. Nisi Johnson, good to have you. So as you're thinking about it, Make the contact. Maybe you're not ready. My wife and I in 2015, we weren't quite where we needed to be. So we spoke with a lender, which is going to be your first step, right? Let's set you with a lender. Let the lender go over where you are credit wise. Look at your debt to income ratio. That will determine how much you qualify up to. Keep in mind, you qualifying for a loan is going to be the big ticket. Now, once you're qualified, you find out what area of town you're looking in. You need to know where you want to be because certain areas are more expensive than others. And if that's the case, maybe you can't afford it right now. If you can't afford it, let's do this. Let's keep it 100. Let's say, you know what? At this time, I got a client and I'm grateful to them that they're keeping it 100. They understand at 475, we don't have a lot of options. Because at 475 right now, there's a lot of competition at that number. Under 500,000 in the Henderson area, that's a lot of competition. In the North Las Vegas area, in the Summerlin, oh my God, Vegas all over. Vegas is tough right now. It is really, really tough because it's a supply and demand issue. So I'm telling you, I just put a home on the market for $599,000. It's 4-bedroom. But guess what? In 2 days, I've had 8 showings and 3 offers. Now, I'm telling you, this thing isn't going to last. Saturday, I expect to have an offer accepted. And on Monday, I'm expecting open escrow. That's where I'm at. And I believe it's going to happen. And let's keep the rhythm going. Let's keep yourself excited about what's to come. Because if you lose the excitement, you continue to pay into someone else's equity. And what does that do for you? Nothing. What does it do for the other guy? It creates wealth for him. And then he thinks about, well, you know what? She's been paying my mortgage and I've got $250,000 in equity. Guess what it's called? It's called cashing out. And many landlords are cashing out. This forbearance that we went through with 2 years of this COVID, a lot of landlords didn't get their rent money and they're terrified. If anything happens, they don't want to deal with that again. So you know what they're doing? Because their home has great equity, they're cashing out. They're taking the opportunity to cash out on your dime. And now you left out. Like, what are we going to do? It's not about another rental. It's about getting yourself in position. If you've got a landlord and a Land Rover, you need to call me. If you got a Land Rover and a landlord, you need to call me. If you got a Mercedes Benz parking it at an apartment building and you paying $700, $800, $900 on the Benz, you need to contact me. Something's wrong right here because I have money to give you down. You just got to qualify for it. Now, if you just bought a car recently, problem we have sometimes is you put the cart before the horse. Now, if you've been in it at least 6 months, we could probably, but if you just bought it in January, giving yourself a New Year's, yeah, you're going to be a tenant for a minute. Real talk. You're going to be a tenant for a minute. And the sad part is this $20,000 that I have for you, I can't give it to you because now you just hit your debt ratio situation. Now, unless you have low debt, but even you got to be 6 months in with that car note. They say a year, but at least I can get a game plan with a 6 months in and on time. Not risky, But again, here's where we are. To cap it off, I'm running out of time, certainly not out of information. But if you have a Land Rover and a landlord, a Benz, a Chrysler, a Charger, one of those big high-end cars, and you don't have a mortgage, I want to hear from you because I want to show you how to take that high-end car and put it in the garage for something that you own. So not only you're paying the car, but you're paying the mortgage. And the mortgage is, guess what? It's increasing in value every year. So while we're increasing in value, let's give you the equity. You could pull money out of the house and just pay the car off. We did that. We didn't have a car, but we had some other debt we needed to pay. We took money out of our home, paid the debt off. Guess what? We're debt free. And my mortgage payment went up $100. Man, this is the life. And I want to give you this life. I want you to be excited about what's next in your future because this is the year of manifestation. Get in on what's happening. If you're already in, congratulations, kudos to you. But if you got a friend and a family that you know right now is not in, you need to get them in. If you have an ex-husband, an ex-wife, and you guys are still friends, tell them about DeVille. Listen, it's no cost up front. I offer free buyer representation. I don't charge you anything. In fact, to sell your home is negotiable. The price is negotiable, and I'm paid at the end of the deal. There is no upfront cost for my service or the lender up front. We're paid at the end of the deal. No deal, no pay. How you go wrong with that, right? DJ, good to see you, Thumb. Yusula, glad to have you with us today. Marquetta DeVille. She's on here, everybody. I got the lovely, beautiful Marquetta DeVille on standby right now. Look, she's ready to take your call. You got to reach out to her, 702-787-7559. We're out in the Henderson, she was at least, in the Henderson area this morning. Brand new house. I'm telling you, right now, new home bills are going up. But do not visit them without a realtor. Now, we would love for you to call DeVille Realty first. But listen, honestly, there are 15,000 realtors in Las Vegas Valley. Now, maybe you don't call me. I'm not the only sheriff in town. Metro has a whole lot of officers. Guess what? So does real estate. Just call a realtor. Don't give the money to the new home builder. That's what you do. You drive up to the new home. Oh, this is pretty. They make it pretty on purpose because they want you to come in. Listen, they don't want to pay the realtor. You don't pay us. They supposed to pay us. So when you don't call a realtor, you get that realtor at that location double paid. Yeah, they nice and all that, but they don't deserve double pay. Here, we're local realtors. They getting paid from the builder and they getting something on the back end of the deal. Why not pay your local realtor? Now, there's thousands of realtors. Maybe you don't call DeVille. Call a realtor. Okay, I'm not selfish. Listen, let me tell you something. It's enough for everybody. I'm not competing with realtors. It's enough for everybody. I'm just putting the information out. And I'd love to assist you. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to help. But I realize, and I've come to reality, look, bro, I'm not going to help everybody. People get this information. Everybody got a family member that's a realtor. Guess what? As long as you get your keys, as long as you get your equity, that's what I'm really all about, is empowering the black community and all of you nationwide is to get your piece of the American dream. What is that? Real estate. Get you some real estate, man. Now, again, I love to help. I have a great team, 42 of us, 3 locations. We're all around town. We're here to help you. But listen, if your cousin is a realtor and you heard this information, by all means, take that information, man. Get yourself in real estate, for real. I'm not that guy. Okay, I'm not petty like that. You know, listen, but if your cousin is a realtor and he ain't been able to help you, then you need my expertise. Guess what? Call me. I'm here to help. But guess what? If you have a realtor, work with that realtor. Now, if that realtor just not working out for you, you don't feel like they got your best interest, by all means, DeVille Realty, 702-787-7559. Realtors, if you listen to me, do your best to satisfy your clients. You know, again, my job is to put the word out. I'd love to help you. I'm not turning anyone away. I ain't turning nothing down but my collar. I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay? But if you have a realtor, I'm not here to steal you or take you from your realtor. Okay? I don't need realtors hating that. No, I just got a platform and I'm using it to educate. Now, if they like my education piece, right? Some people like Harvard. Some people like Jackson State. Wherever you like it, go there, right? Some people want Howard. Wherever you want to go. Okay? Columbia. I'm more like the Columbia, right? I'm that Columbia University. You want to come to a good school called DeVille. We Columbia University. I love it. I'm loving it. I'm having fun. Look, I'm running out of time. I've only got a few more minutes left, but I want to make sure that I got that information out to you. Look, get you some equity. Stop paying that landlord's mortgage. Stop giving that money down the drain. I know you like the house and it's cute and you decorate it nice, but if that landlord decides next month to sell that home, you're going to be like the rest of the tenants looking for somewhere to go. And guess what? The next place you're going to go is going to be higher. So while you taking care of this guy's house and you making it look real nice and you paying $2,800 a month, that guy may sell next month. And you're going to be in the rat race of finding somewhere to go. So let me tell you this. Contact my team. Let's get you set up with a lender. Let's find out what you qualify up to while you're still working so that you can get qualified into home ownership. Because the landlord, again, it might be he may be considered selling. Just haven't given you the notice. Now, the sad part about this whole scenario is they don't owe you anything. Matter of fact, I've seen landlords didn't even say thank you. They just gave you a notice. 30 days. What did you have to do? You had to go. And you know what they call it bugging you for? When are you going to be out? When are you going to leave the key? Where's the key going to be in the remotes? Oh, don't forget the mailbox key as well. No, thank you. But you paid the mortgage. You paid the rent. And guess who got the equity? The landlord. So I hope I've driven that home today. I hope I've given you powerful information to change your circumstance from a renter to an owner. Stop paying someone else's mortgage, because what you're paying for a rent, you can pay a mortgage. Especially what these landlords are getting ready to do until Nevada puts a rent cap like California in many areas. Until Nevada does it, landlords are going to continue to take advantage. So I had one last year. Now it's coming up on the new year for her. He just went up $400 last July. Now I told her what to do. Get your credit, do what you got to do. So this time next year, because she went from 14 to 18 overnight. Landlords can do it. If you're not in a lease, now, if you're going to have to be in a lease, sign a 2-year lease. While you're working on your credit, if you have to. Now, there are some people, you're not credit worthy yet, but, but here's the deal. If you put yourself in a 1 year, that puts the pressure on you to get it done. Because you've been putting off too long. I've been on radio 7 years. You've been hearing Greg DeVille for a minute. And many of you have not called. Now that the rent's gone crazy, my phone's been ringing like heck, but we have to put you in a credit program. So get a start now in the credit program. Let's get you started now. Get the credit where it needs to be. What are we going to do? We're going to get you in the manifestation of real estate. Because year 2022 is year of manifestation. It's going to be great for you. But you play a part in all of this coming to fruition. How's that? Contacting my team. Let's get the ball rolling, okay? 702-787-7559. Greg DeVille, Team DeVille, DeVille Realty Group. Getting ready to sign out. I got a couple minutes, but I want to say this. Veterans, don't forget, it's your turn. Reinstate your DD-214. Maybe you lost a property while you had a VA loan. Let me say this to you. It's okay. Forgive yourself. You can use your benefit again. You can reinstate your DD-214. It can be forgiven. You will never know if you don't make contact. I meet so many veterans say, well, I used it. I said, you can use it again. I can? Many veterans don't know. Go ask your family member that serve. You know they serve. You go in their home, you see a flag or you see a military picture, and they've been renting. Do your family a favor and ask them, do you own this or are you renting this? Because there's a gentleman said he can get you into a property. He's been doing it 7 years on radio and 30 years in the industry of real estate. So I'm telling you right now, and I'm selling myself short with 30 because I'm really close to the 40 years in real estate. But I'm telling you right now, this is the time to do it. Stop putting off tomorrow what you can do today. 702-787-7559. Greg DeVille, Team DeVille, DeVille Realty Group with 3 locations in the Valley. I've got to get out of here. I'm out of time. I'm certainly not out of information or energy. I got more for you, man. I can go in, but I'm going to cut it off. All right. Tell a friend for us, 702-787-7559. We want to hear from you. We want to get you started. Get the ball rolling. Find out where you credit. If you got to go to credit restoration, let me just say I did in 2015. Took us 90 days. 94th day, we were in escrow with a house. Just that simple. So let's get your game plan. Do what we got to do. Let's make it work, right? That's what we're going to do. We're going to make it work. All right. Until I talk to you next week on Thursday at it's 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. I'll be talking to you then. Have a good time. Be safe. Enjoy. And may God's best be yours. Take care.